Here.
Boston,
Here.
Hutton. Here. Leahy. Here. Mendoza.
Here.
Pearsall is absent. Tegler.
Here.
You don't have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Have a motion from Boston to approve minutes from December 2nd, 2024 meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Leahy. Roll call.
Boston,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Tegler.
Yes.
Motion carried. Pastor Tony, are you here for a presentation?
No.
We got a reminder of what's going on this weekend, though, if you want.
For,
Did you want to speak about what you have going on this weekend?
Yeah, good to just remind everybody that bring your little people out on Saturday is breakfast with Santa.
all right.
So
Saturday.
there will be
What
photo
time?
ops, Santa will be present live and in person, so
What time is that?
from 9 till 10:30
9 and
Yeah.
10:30.
At the
Can you
church.
get that on the website?
At the church?
at the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, anything else?
Thanks.
No,
All right. Mike?
I have nothing to present, nothing major's going on. Everything's running pretty smooth at the moment.
Oh.
So,
We have to.
Not real.
It looks like wood.
but if anybody has any questions, I'm willing to answer them.
How was your ride?
It was actually nice and smooth
It's
and,
not bad.
no,
Did you come back on 78 or did you?
no, I just came back on
74.
74 days, yeah. I got back, I left about, I think, maybe 10 after 12 and got back at 3:25. Just enough to come in and talk to the guys until they clocked out.
It's not, yeah, it's not a bad
No.
ride. Susie, anything in general?
I do, so I just wanna go over some renewals, like the Frontier contract renewals coming due. This year, it'll be a 24-month contract. It looks like pretty much everything's gonna stay the same rate-wise. I asked her for a breakdown of any of the changes, and I didn't really get that. But there's that one. United Healthcare, which is the dental, that renewal is effective 1/1 of 25. And basically, our bill is gonna go up like $10 a month.
Okay.
That's not earth shattering. Blue Cross Blue Shield, I don't really have the finalized renewal yet. The initial one they gave us was pretty ugly, so Charlie had them go back to the drawing board and see what they can do. Just because, you know, we only have 5 people that are eligible for coverage, and so I haven't got anything back from them. Principal, there's 0 change in the rates, so that'll become effective February. We have a new Whiteside County computer system for the police department called Central Square Pro Suite. So that kind of links all of the little police departments with the county, so they're all on the same system, using the same metrics with the same database. I haven't talked to Tommy yet to see if he's familiar with that, but I talked to Whiteside County, the deputy chief there, and he thinks it's a pretty good deal, so
Yeah.
he's excited that we've agreed to
It's,
go on to it.
yeah, it's not like we have a lot of choice either.
Right.
I was gonna say, we just did this not that long ago.
Yeah.
So is this, I don't mean to interrupt you, but is this an annual cost of at least that much?
Yep, so Lexapol, is that what it was called?
It went away, yeah.
That was like 1,900, like, let's call it $2,000,
Yeah.
and this new one is 3,700 a year.
Yeah.
Well, and because
Well,
I think
but-
it's got a lot more information,
Yeah.
you know.
They're not
available.
quite the same, but yeah, it's.
Yep. Are you gonna present the change of pay periods?
Yep,
Okay,
I can, I mean, you can too if you wanna. other than our conversation, I mean, I don't have any other, if you did more work on it, then.
I don't, other than
Okay.
our conversation. There are some things that I'd like to discuss, but they will probably be, discussed in closed session.
Alright. So we'll have a closed session at the end and get
Okay.
to some of this other stuff. So, so you're talking about the carryover, or you were talking about the?
The switch,
Huh?
yeah, the switch of, from 24 to 26
Pure
pay
pay grades.
periods.
Yes, yes, alright. So, I guess, are you done then?
I am.
Dave's not here, I heard Dave.
Dave's not here.
Dave's in Sweden.
Yeah, he's enjoying it.
So, we have several employees, including Tommy, who just didn't get an opportunity to use their vacation hours in this calendar year. Our rules state that use it or lose it, so they asked that they carry over. So, who's all affected? You, Katie,
Yep,
and Tommy? All right. And then we have some other things we'll discuss in closed session about other vacation. So, anybody have any thoughts, input on that? If not, I'd accept a motion to authorize those three to carry over their vacation.
Do we have I'll write it.
I don't know the numbers.
Do we have an amount? No?
I don't,
Okay.
Do we want to set a limit on how soon it have to be used in the new year, so we don't want to run up on this again next year?
You don't know the number of hours
I
that you
don't.
can carry it over?
I mean, Tommy's is like the full,
2 weeks.
you know, yeah, cause he's not used any.
Well, I,
We need
Well,
to get used for this fiscal year, don't you think? I mean, this,
The
Well,
vacation,
yeah.
that's what they're saying, the rule is that you have to use it by the end of the calendar year.
Right.
Vacation, well, these
yeah,
people came on board so late and they
Right.
haven't had a chance to use it, so that's, at least
yeah,
Why
so,
would Katie have extra vacation hours?
Because she just got her first year in November, so
um,
she just got her vacation, essentially.
yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. Do we need to pass something tonight if we vocalize that we're,
Yeah.
I know that's the last meeting of this year. I'd just kinda like to put some hours on there, but you know,
you could put it as, referencing the existing balance as of
Any
December 31st, is that?
Yep.
now at the hospital, we only let you carry over so much, and then you ate the
Well,
rest.
that's why I'm wondering,
Yeah.
but
That's what we're doing is waiving that, or request is to waive that.
Well, I mean,
um,
2 weeks if that's the one with.
now who else
We had-
affected?
We did, we want 2 weeks.
Katie,
Oh, yeah.
Tommy,
You can carry over 200. Yeah, I think.
You either gotta get paid out for it, you gotta use it.
Yeah. Well, we can't do without any of those people, really. I mean, it's hard to get vacations in, I think.
What about the option to pay it out to them?
We can't take it online.
I don't know if that was, I mean,
That goes
to the negotiator.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't believe that's.
just asking, that's our
I
option.
mean, that's our option too.
It is.
I don't think
Yeah.
we have enough staff to do.
No, I'm just curious.
But, I mean, well, that might have been,
Did you? Your team, because they're, yeah.
Susie, did you discuss that at all, about payout? There's an option to pay out, you use or lose, or I believe our code,
Well, but then they won't have any vacation for,
right,
Gotcha.
right, I
I
understand
think
too.
if we do it this time, we've got to, all the employees need to know that it's use it or lose it. So we're not in the same boat again next year, doing the same thing.
well, like
We
Tommy
won't do
couldn't use it.
We won't be, I
You
don't
know.
think, with
Well, some of this is similar to before when we had to, because
Sony, yeah.
when Sony left, there was just no way that Tracy could take time off, because she was the only one here. And when Sony was the only one here, she
had
could
to carry
take
over,
time
she
off,
couldn't.
so now that maybe we're up to full staff, things will settle down. But yeah, I don't think that it shouldn't happen, but, I think the circumstances over the last few years have dictated that we allow for this, so.
So when are we thinking they should use them by?
Employment anniversary date?
The what?
Your employment anniversary date? Would you say
Sure.
that within your,
Use,
Yeah.
should be
because
used,
you're gonna accumulate more this year.
Right. Even the handbook is contradictory though, Teresa, because it says you can't use any of your vacation until you've been here for 6 months. So that is a catch-22, right? So now you have people that have vacation
Yeah.
and can't use it.
Well, that's what I'm sure we get that.
David?
Yep.
I have a motion by, are we done discussing it?
Well, hold on, so, I'm kinda not in it, but I'm in it, so, you say we can't roll any overtime, or any vacation over past the year.
we allow, it's allowed per the manual, but
Okay.
maybe I jumped in. I
So
should-
if we.
It's
are
not
we-
allowed unless you guys
Right,
say it is.
if we allow it.
Yes.
Okay, so if it's not allowed, we only have a certain amount of time to use our vacation up. But like, say, I started in July, okay, so, say I had my vacation time, okay? And I didn't use any of it, okay? That would roll over, right, because it's rolling over for everyone else this time. But by next time, you say, and I have to use that by my anniversary date or whatever, that would be July of the next year, right?
Well, that's, yeah, this year, these people have to use it up in that time frame. But, you know, the idea behind vacation is that you get away, you have some
Right.
time off, and so, the idea, we don't want it, you know, just people to build it up for 20 years and then take the last year of their employment off.
Or a hardship
I just
of
think
a
the
long
anniversary
vacation
date-
at any time, you know, a really long vacation can.
We've already put this into the budget to be in that fiscal year though, I guess that's why I think we should do it, they need to have it used by,
It is the fiscal year though. It's still the fiscal year, we're just rolling it over calendar year wise.
Yeah, cause our fiscal, you mean the villages or like the states, or cause there's so many.
Yeah, I guess I'm confused
April
on that.
30th, I guess think that
Yeah,
this should be done, not by
well,
August or July, or there was another August, I think, and then, I don't know. I don't know, I guess just use it for vacation,
it's,
It'll
yeah,
be easier
there's-
now because we have enough employees.
right? Yeah.
Before, we were barely scraping by.
Right.
Because I just think it's gonna be way too confusing to have it on every single, if everybody, the date was the same for everybody, it would just be.
Oh, that would be great. That would make my life really easy if everybody's vacation started on the same day too.
So,
But I mean, it does start in January, right?
No,
mine does. Mine, right, my vacation will start.
sort of.
Sort of.
So see, this is not, I don't understand it.
Well, first off, the way the current employee manual was written, and I was on the board at the time when we wrote it, so it's confusing at best. But I have a plan going forward, we can discuss some of that in closed session, so.
Hang in there, Mike. Don't let it make it.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I have a motion by Boston to allow Susie Griffiths, Katie Moore, and Tommy Lefferwich to carry over unused vacation days which have not been used by December 31st, 2024. Days carried over should be used by each employee's service anniversary. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Boston,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes,
Leahy,
Yes?
Mendoza,
Yes.
Taggart. Yes.
Motion carried.
Oh, yeah, prior to the end of the year, I see exactly what it did need to be voted on tonight.
That's why we're having the meeting.
That's really, I mean, what
Otherwise, we'd have canceled the meeting. So. I don't have any other material there, no building permits, no attorney, clerk,
Nothing.
budget officer.
I do, I gave each of you
There's nothing.
one of these, I believe. It's a rundown of, I have one for you as well.
Thank you.
It's somewhat self-explanatory, but the one that's a portrait, I think you all have turned to that one anyway. It's kind of a rundown of where we're at on the different funds for, budget-wise. And I kind of put up there, the target for expenses is less than 59%. That's just, about where it should land, somewhere under 59%. So if you look down all of those, tort, which is the insurance that we pay for this village, that's been done, correct? I mean, that shows 89%, but that's done. It's not like we pay every month. We pay that annually if I'm not mistaken. So
Yep.
that's been done.
Yep.
The next one you see that approaches something high is way down there at the Lusk Fund. It's 109%. Now, if you remember a few meetings back, it was on the agenda to give you guys a rundown on where we were with the budget, and I said, you know, that I had a question on cemetery, you know, on, and thanks to Susie was able to find this for me. I'd had my eyes on it, didn't know exactly what was happening, but if you recall, we contracted with property maintenance to do the cemetery. So they were doing the cemetery, and we were still, and I'm not saying this was ever improper, apparently historically, at least the last couple of years, our summer help had been paid out of water, streets, sewer, parks, and cemetery, 20% each. So when you pay them, 20% is coming out of each one of those. Well, we were still paying all four summer guys, 20% of their time, essentially, one day of every week that they were working in the cemetery. Well, I don't know if they mowed it once, to tell you the truth. And I'm not faulting them, I'm just saying, I don't know that happened. So if you look down at the bottom of that, well, if you flip it over, it'll show you where everybody, how that kind of, and thank you for this, Susie. Susie got me these numbers and sent this to me. So you can see what came out of cemetery salaries for these guys. Well, we know that the bottom three, again, I don't know that it was ever mowed once. As far as the top one, I know that Barry did some mowing out on the, whatever they call that one, I never remember the name.
Root,
Yeah.
R-O-D.
So you can see what, so 20% of his was also coming out. Well, I still believe even 20%, even 10% I think higher than, I don't think he was spending, so 10% would be 4 hours every 40-hour week that he was mowing out there, and I don't know that was, 10% would be all right with me. So at the bottom of that page, of the portrait page, I've laid out there that if we change Barry's from 20% of his wages coming out of cemetery to 10%, that put essentially $965 back in salaries. And then if the other three come off completely, because again, I don't think it was mowed, that'd be another $1,592. And I would say take from 20% to 0, so all their pay would be 25% for water, sewer, parks, and streets, correct? So that would put, essentially, we'd have, and this will be all the work will be on Susie. She'll have to make all these journal entries and corrections and stuff, but that's what I'm suggesting we do here. So we can get back on track with our budget. I don't mind if it was a legitimately we went over and we deal with it, but this really wasn't legitimately. We shouldn't be paying 20% of the wages for mowing the cemetery when they never mow the cemetery, so.
Or we had someone else mow.
Or we had someone else doing it. So, is that clear? I know it's kind of muddy. Does it make sense to you guys? All right. So that way, if you see down the road the GGR changes, percentage of funds spent, then that's why. Because this is gonna be going back in salary. It's coming out of salaries and maintenance service to grounds, whatever else. Anyway, this will put us back, instead of being 109% of the budget, will be at 78. And I would anticipate we'd be fine up till the end of April. Okay? That was a lot of talking for no more than I said.
And where it says there's nothing to present.
And budget-wise, budget officer-wise, that's, I believe, all yeah, that's all I have, budget officer-wise.
Financial reports, I omitted off of this, I forgot.
That's okay, that's fine.
I will get them on the next.
No
first of
worries, no
January,
worries.
So then January will.
I also gave you guys copies of those, which the last one that I had received, so you have that as well. All right, so if I'm done with budget officer or finance, or budget officer, so then finance. I don't have anything to add there. I do have something for new business later, but I'm good for now,
All right.
okay?
Finance, police, Teresa,
Nothing?
Aaron, streets,
November was it?
Carrie, utilities,
Nope.
and no Pam. Anybody else have anything on cemeteries, parks? If not, Joyce, ordinance?
Nope.
All right, old business.
I called Strata today. This is old business because I did it about a year ago too. And they said that they are working on getting into town here and hoping in the spring that they'll be able to. I said, well, will somebody come and talk to us? Will they? And she said, well, we could have somebody come and talk to you.
Well,
Just for
kind
fun.
of need to
And I said,
before
well,
they start
I said,
tearing into
the thing is, I said, you guys are right out here on Fuller Road. And she said, yeah, but she says we're working on permits and different things to be able to get into town. So,
Is that internet, is that everything?
Fiber.
Fiber.
Yep.
Good lord.
so,
I don't know what Fulton has. Carlin's got something with an S.
Sand Prairie.
Nope, not Sand
No.
Prairie.
No.
There's another S one,
Not
and that's the
Strata,
one,
same.
I heard that Strata wasn't gonna do us, it was this other S company, which I can't.
And then they're in Fulton.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
and that came from the guys at Joe Carroll, because they were originally gonna do it, but they did all this other stuff, but and I think the problem is, and I told someone else earlier this day, or today, is that all this stuff around us is all rural stuff that was taken care of by federal grants. We're not part of that, so anybody coming here is doing it for our business, not because they're getting grants to do it.
They're gonna get it.
Well, and Sand Prairie came
Media comes in here.
Yeah.
5 years ago and talked to us about it,
Yeah.
and nothing ever happened.
No.
Because
This
we were
one-
gonna have a town meeting and we
Yeah.
were gonna do
Everybody
this,
signed up on Sand Prairie too.
but like I said, it never.
Yeah, even last year, so they were still trying to pimp people wanting to.
Well,
go
somebody,
on
I was here
show
today and
interest.
a customer came in and asked me, or asked the girls when we were getting it, and I said, well, I'll call them again, I called them a year ago, so.
My
Yeah.
sister said that one in Fulton, she lost her internet connection and they called her.
Wow.
They could see that she didn't have it running yet.
Wow.
But that doesn't last long.
No,
That's nice.
we'll just get you hooked with customer service for a while.
Yeah.
I guess
Then
we
we'll
need to find out what
outsource
the
it to
other
somewhere
S
else.
word is.
Anything else on that, Tracy?
Nope.
Any other old business? We got, I think, did we talk about it, all the dumpsters were taken care of then, right? That was on the.
Yeah, I still haven't looked to make sure the 10-yard one's gone, but I've heard it was,
The,
the big one.
no.
It's still out there?
That's still out.
I'll call him back, because that was supposed to be, I called him the following day. What was our
And that was
last
supposed to
meeting?
be Monday.
Yeah, he was supposed to come, they said make sure it's
Yeah, I knew
unlocked
it.
Monday.
It's
Yeah.
still there, but
Yeah.
I didn't know today.
Yeah, I didn't look, I just thought somebody told me they already came and done it.
Because I said you'll have to call me when you're coming into town so I can have somebody go down there and unlock it.
I
He
called
moved,
him, he
he
didn't.
moved the other dumpsters.
Well, that just happened, I mean,
Yeah.
I had asked Matt to get that done too, he said he would. He said it was it was a charge monthly for us to get locked,
Yeah.
lids, that you can lock those 2-yarders, so,
But at least we have cameras up at the shop.
yeah,
You know
so
what
at
I
least they're
mean?
not
So
up
we can
there right
actually
now.
see
Right.
who's dumping in there, I guess.
But I will call him tomorrow, and tell him that's still there, and
Let me verify tomorrow, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's not,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
let me know, I'll count on you
I'll
to remind me,
verify
okay?
that tomorrow.
All right, any other old business? If not, new business? You said
couple of things, and this one, you just sparked my mind on this, when you talked about if they're gonna come in to do this, they need to talk to the village first, which I agree with, but the digging that they did up on First Avenue, I'm not sure who did it, was it Joe Carroll? I don't know if it was Joe Carroll on
They
the
were
corners.
replacing gas stuff for
They
sure.
were replacing gas stuff, do we get, and I'm just asking this from my own knowledge, but do we get anything to repair that asphalt?
They will come back.
From them?
I talked to them, they asked if we would do the repairs and then we would charge them
Uh-huh.
like that, and I told them we didn't have the equipment to really
Right,
do
right.
that they would have to come back, and they said that was fine. But they're not gonna do it till probably the spring.
All right.
I
good.
wondered the
So,
same thing,
good to
so.
know.
I still wanna get with you, Aaron, at some point, and the mayor, and see if we can figure out some plan for getting some of these roads repairs, as many as we can. And the last thing I believe I have on here is, I know we recently paid off that $300,000 10-year sewer loan. Within the last couple of months, I think you sent them their last check, October. So, it might be time to look in to see what other repairs might need done there before we get used to having some extra funds in the sewer fund. You know what I mean? And I know from reading through old minutes, there's, I don't know what they call them, the fiberglass deals they run around the top to keep the wind from, most of those are gone, right? Or all of them are gone?
Well, I had enough to basically do the riverside around.
Okay,
They're old
Is that-
fiberglass, like roof panels.
yeah,
Like just to let light in.
just like you
and-
find in your,
Right, and you can't find them, you can't buy those anymore.
oh, is that right?
You know, they all go to metal or a little thicker plastic. Those are kind of really flimsy, that's why we're.
That's why they
bend
use them,
You know,
yeah.
but to find them, I looked on like Marketplace, or called some of my friends up at the
Yeah.
construction, they said, hey, you come across this, you let me know.
Is it required, do we need those, or
It helps them from freezing.
helps them from freezing?
Years and years ago, we looked at doming that, because the sewer plant is itself, as decomposition happens,
Yeah.
that actually generates heat at will. And it's- if you could put a dome over it, that would actually, keep a lot of the heat in there. Plus, you also could recapture the methane, and they make methane burners too. You actually deal with that. But that's, you know, it's more than what we probably want to look at.
Yeah.
Did we get the generator fixed? Is it running at all?
Got the generators
Yep.
going.
That was just the battery?
Yeah, just battery.
What did they do out here? Did anybody?
He said he hooked up all the stuff and added some stuff to it. I wasn't here that day, I think my daughter had a doctor's appointment or something. But I talked to him on the phone and he said it was all working, and he charged it and turned it on and everything lit up, so.
That's all I
Any other new business?
No, but we will probably have some, like we had that BWC company come in with the sludge. We'll probably have to do that a few times in the spring. That, I think it was what, like $4,000 or whatever for 12 hours worth of work. It was like a whole day and a half that they were here, and we got maybe 20% of what really needs to be done at the sewer plant. You know, because each one of those need to be thoroughly pretty cleaned out. And there's three dividers, and then you have a center clarifier. And so that center clarifier is what discharges into the river. So I just lost what I thought.
I can get
I
it.
do that all the time.
Yeah, you're way too
Thinking
young.
ahead, I'm
That's
thinking
my
ahead.
day. Well, you got,
No, the BWC, the sludge, so we're gonna have to, and I don't wanna do it all in one shot, you know what I mean? That's why we kinda just did it, and I wanted to see how much they were gonna charge, because I didn't really know on a quote really of what I was gonna have them do until we were in the process of doing it. So,
Does Fulton have one of those
Is
machines
the farmer
that
still
sucks it out?
taking some?
yep.
And,
Yeah, he told
and we can also get there's another company that has came by a couple times, they're out of the Quad Cities.
We could always say we're thinking about buying one, they could come and demonstrate. My nephew sells them.
Oh, does it? Yeah, well, actually, my son-in-law works for a company that builds them too.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sewer equipment in Dixon.
Yeah, sewer equipment in Dixon. Plus they have a rock equipment or something.
When I worked in Chadwick, sewer equipment was actually in Chadwick. They had a bunch of, old farm buildings in the back, and they had like 6 of them, and they were all kind of stationed out through there.
Really?
It was a bad hit for Chadwick when they ended up moving all the way to Dixon. That was-
Yeah, I had called them earlier last year, and they didn't have nothing locally. We'd had to drive all the way to Dixon and get it, and it still was by the day. It's- But it is an option that we run it. The other half of that is and going back to using that money up, it would be nice whether we have someone else do it, or we rent the equipment and do it, but that's flushing sewer mains and
Yeah.
cleaning them out, because
Yeah.
we used to be on a program of doing that, and I think after Nate Schroeder
Long
passed,
gone.
it just kind of fell by the
Yeah,
wayside.
I'm all for that too, but I did lie, I did have one other thing that Mike reminded me of. With some of the sewer money perhaps, when we were doing the lift, which was my first experience dealing with that lift station and the pump and all that stuff. It would be nice if that was hard piped. That, where we're dropping that hose.
Oh, yeah, and we talked to, were you there?
Yeah,
that day?
yeah, with this guy Jake or whoever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said, yeah, they did it
Is that
before.
something we could have, I could call him, and I think I still have his card, we've got Mike call him,
Jake.
to see if they could come give us some estimate on that, we could get that before the board and maybe
Sure.
have something done before flood season, or.
Rather than trying to drop a
Yeah,
hose.
somebody's
down.
gonna get hurt.
Yeah, that's, yeah, and there's no reason for it when you can just have a fitting right at the top and clamp onto it.
I agree, so that's, you mind looking into that, or you want me to
No,
call?
that's fine. I can call.
A spare lift pump
What
would
is
be
that,
a
just,
good investment too.
Yes, it would.
That's just gonna be a hard, straight pipe going straight all the way
Yeah,
down to the
I
bottom.
would imagine
Help
it
us
could be-
If we got suck out.
And
we
a
can suck
cam
out
lock
right there.
fitting on the top. You
Yeah,
just
that'd be
hook
awesome.
I would
the
assume-
pump onto it.
I would assume it has its own debris filter catcher or whatever at the bottom of whatever we would put in? or-
Yeah, it would have to have some sort of screen, and you may have to back flush that every once in
Yeah.
a while.
Right, just to clear that.
And yeah, I agree, another pump to have would be.
We
very
got a
nice.
price for it, but then they jacked it way up on
Well,
us.
no, they couldn't get it,
Yeah,
remember?
but they offered us another
Yeah,
alternative, which was
you're
way
right,
more.
right,
so.
that's right.
Okay, now, even if I think of something else,
Bite your tongue.
I'm gonna just shut up.
You all heard it.
Any other new business, Floyd? If not, Pastor Tony, last chance.
Nope, just show up on Saturday, bring all your little people.
All right.
Thank you.
Tell everybody else to bring all their little people.
We will.
Thank you.
And
If
the
not,
fire department is helping
Susie and
us.
Mike, if you could both stay, at least for the first part of the closed session.
One minute, please.
Yes, employment.
Come up to
And yeah, you can both come up.
Christmas to you.
Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
We'll see you Saturday.
And then Susie left.
Yeah, you can come up to the table, Mike, if you don't mind to sit.
You can come up here and
Sit
sit.
by Carrie.
She's not a people person.
No, not
so don't
today.
try and talk to her.
They don't talk.
No. I've had enough of people.
I just locked the door.
That's
Oh, sorry.
You're good. I have a motion by Boston to go enter into closed session at 6:35 to discuss employment of employees. Do I have a second?
A second.
Leahy, roll call.
Austin,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Taylor. Yes.
Motion carried. Let me know when you're.
Oh, big one, Jonas. Excuse me.